Good morning, my wonderful friends. Thank you for joining me today. It's Belinda here from Visualized NZ. And I'm going to do a design team project for RachandBella Crafts using the fabulous, relatively new kit, Shabby Blue Backgrounds. I haven't printed it all off yet, but I'm going to show you what I have printed off. These first 4 pages I have printed on like a stone fleck, creamy coloured or oatmeal coloured paper, and it's quite thick, so it does affect the colour, but it gives it a beautiful, even shabbier or more muted effect. I really like it. So there's this page, beautiful. This one, which is probably one of my favourites, just the wood texture with the peeling paint, super fun. This rose one, and then this one. And then the rest I have printed on regular white photocopy paper. And these are the ones I'm going to be working with today. So this beautiful rose one. Again, this peeling paint timber background I just adore. So I've got a couple of these with florals overlaid from the kit that I've printed out. So this one with florals over top of the wood grain. This one, again, we've got that timber in the background. I didn't realise until I printed them out, and then it's like I've gravitated towards those ones with the timber background. Not solely, but largely. Then this one actually might be upside down. Here I've got it on my desk. Not that it really matters, you could have it whichever way you prefer, but I think it goes that way. Trying to pick it up. I've got not much in the way of fingernails at the moment. This one, stripes, all lovely and shabby, distressed yumminess. And then I suspect this one is also upside down. Should probably go that way, but again, it doesn't really matter. So they are the ones I've printed off so far. It's quite a large kit. There's around like 34 pages, I believe, so plenty to work with. I will get round to printing them off, in due course. Okay, I'm going to be creating a kind of a full page piece of ephemera that's going to attach to the page, and I've got here as my base a stamp album page. It's out of an old stamp album. It's got some rub-ons there for the Republic of what, I have no idea. It's got some stamp hinge residue, which I just think adds to the character. So this is going to be my base, but the opposite side is just plain. So I thought, why don't we just stencil it up to begin with? So grab out some paper to put down, and I think, do I want to do the whole thing or just half of it? Because it will go in a signature, so there'll be other pages in between. We could do a different stencil on that side maybe. So I'm just going to lay this right along that crease line, hopefully, if I can see it. Might need to pull it across on my paper a bit more. Reline it up. And I've chosen to do tumbled glass distress ink. And I've got my brush here. It does have residue of other colours on it, other blues. So we might get a bit of mixing going on, which is fine. If you do hear noises in the background, my hubby is homesick. So there could be floorboards creaking, that sort of stuff. And that's just my hubby, because he has to come through this room if he needs to visit the bathroom or something. So I've banished him to the bedroom while I do my videos. He's going to do some reading, which is like, oh, do you want to do my video and I'll go to the bedroom and do some reading? Wouldn't that be nice? When's the last time I read? It was sometime last week, I think, which is not great. I'm not far off finishing my book, and I really would like to finish it, but I've had no time recently. Right, I'm not aiming to get a perfect stencil. I just want to kind of take away from the white and just give it a bit of character. You may not even pick it up on camera, but it's just a lovely subtle stencil floral in the background. And I'm going to use this page here with the beautiful blue roses. So I think I want to stencil the whole back of this. It doesn't really fit. Hang on, let me fold out this bit of paper. That might kind of help. Oh, all sorts are caught up here. Right, and we're just going to do a quick stencil much the same way. Not worried about perfection or getting it all covered. Just adding that little subtle detail in the background. So how's your week going? If you had a good week so far, I hope you are all well and having some creative time somewhere during the week. Being creative is just the best, isn't it? It's good therapy. Important to make time for these things that we enjoy because they help us in life. They are therapy, I feel. Need some enjoyment, some downtime where you can just get to play, do some fun stuff. Exercise the side of your brain that is creative, especially if you're in a job where you may not be creative, may not have much scope for being creative. Really important to make time, much like I need to make time to read actually, because that exercises a different part of the brain and is also enjoyable if you love reading like I do. Sad that's something I love, I make very little time for. What's in your list of things that you love to do but make very little time for? Is there anything that falls into that category for you? Just because of, life, what's going on, responsibilities outside of yourself. Lots of reasons that we can not get these things done. Right, just a little bit along this end where the stencil didn't reach. I don't mind if the pattern overlaps and mismatches because it's just background texture. Right, I'm going to call that good. So just light, patchy. This is, you can see the ink showing through from the design, so it wasn't pure white to begin with. And that's okay, I don't mind that because it just adds interest in the background. Don't worry about that at all. Right, so I'm going to take this page and first off I'm going to fold in this edge a little bit because it's going to be the edge of a pocket. So I just want to reinforce it a little bit. Just trying to fold it straightish. So it's going to be a side pocket or side tuck, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just going to use tacky glue because my glue pages aren't long enough to fit this on. Now I haven't made a prototype, so I'm just winging this. We'll see how it turns out. But pretty papers, it can only be pretty, can it? That's what I think anyway. So that's our leading edge of our side pocket tuck. So I'm just going to, did I not get that straight, or is the grid on the paper not straight? I don't actually know. Possibly both. Probably both, but that's okay. It's a junk journal, isn't it? We make junk journals. In fact, I can see that's not folded straight, so maybe we'll try and straighten that up. Might help. I think the grid's not printed straight or something, but it's all right. Okay, so choose kind of how deep. I'm going to go as a rough guide. It's 2 1/4 inches, give or take. So I'm just going to fold it back about there and give it a crease, and then I'll fold it back the other way. See, I didn't even need to worry about the end of the paper that wasn't stenciled because it's going to be covered up anyway. Yep. But I may have just as easily done the other end and then had a blank end showing, so you know, it was a just in case moment. So that's going to sit around there. Oh, isn't that pretty? Like straight away, isn't that just pretty? Okay, so turning it over, I'm just sitting it in place there. And I want to have now two options here. I'm just going to put the lid on my glue. And I'm not sure which way I want to do yet. Wee sip of my coffee. We can either concertina this up, backwards and forwards, so it's a little pull out, or we can tuck it under like so and have that as a flip out that unfolds. I think I like the concertina idea. So I'm just going to eyeball about thirds. Doesn't need to be too precise. Just gonna go about there, because whether your top layer is shorter or longer than this fold line here won't matter, it will just be a different look. And so mine is shorter because I plan on putting a little tab on it anyway. So going there. Okay, so I'm going to slip it off there, and I want to round the corners because I like rounded corners. If you don't like rounded corners, then feel free not to. Entirely your choice on design features. So I'm going to do the tuck spot or the side pocket. I'm going to do those corners as well. Now I'm not going to fold it up and punch because they're different widths and you would get weird kind of corner rounding going on. So I'm just going to do each fold itself. Takes a little bit longer, but I think it will give a much nicer finish. That one, and then this one. You could choose to snip, you know, with a pair of scissors, just cut a little slant across the corner. Would be another way you could do this. And then our last one is on this flap. And because this is only photocopy paper, it's not too bulky. If I'd made it with that oatmeal coloured paper, it would be quite substantially bulky. So I do think the photocopy paper is a perfect weight for this. Oh, I haven't done those corners. Okay, I like to do all the corners. And one more. Just using my envelope punch board because I find it convenient. Okay, so this is my back page. That one goes that way. Hope I've got the pattern up the right way now. I don't think it really matters though. Go that way. I don't think it matters. I think I've got it upside down, but I'm going to go with it. Right, now do I want to distress around it? I need to decide that before I glue it on. I think I do. I was like, no, I don't have to. I don't have to. It looks fine. It looks fine. But then I was thinking, how am I going to use this page in a journal? Most likely it's going to be inked. So I've got to do it, my friends. I've just got to do it. I'm not going to go super heavy. It's just going to have that edge on it. Just a little bit of an edge. I won't do it all on camera, but I need to do at least this front piece and the pocket, and then the rest I can pull out and kind of ink once it's on the page. But I need this front piece inked so I can, you know, see how I want to decorate it and how it's coming together. It's an important visual for me to be able to see it inked, because it's the frame. If I don't do it, it's missing, and I find it more difficult to work out if I'm liking how it's looking, essentially. So all the links to these papers will be in the description box below, and all the links for RachandBella Crafts as per normal when I'm doing a design team project. So if you're interested, you can pop along and purchase any of the papers I work with, or anything else that takes your fancy in RachandBella Crafts shop. Right, so I'm going to glue this on now. Do I want a thumb notch? No, I'm not going to choose to do a thumb notch on this. So I'm just going to glue, hopefully I'm in frame, top here. And I am going to run a bead of glue just down this edge here where it attaches to the page. You don't necessarily have to, but I'm just making sure it's nice and secure, because it's not actually going to be attached on the other side. Alright, just reposition that kind of middle-ish on the page. Oh, it's just so pretty. I love these stamp hinge residues too. They just, you know, just goes with the shabby feel. Okay, so this is not glued down at all. This is open, so you can pull it out and journal all inside. So these creases here will be inked with Distress ink, so it will be kind of like framed out in sections. And then this could actually be written on. Again, this would be inked down here as well as around the edges. You could write on it, or do we want to cover it in, like put some writing paper on it? Let's do a tab first, I think. So tab, what do I want to put a tab on with? I think I'll go with one of my pre-cut tabs from Artsology, whale tail tabs. Because I think there's some blue ones here that would work, even like just this one. That's the wrong blue, that one. This one has got a butterfly, or a couple of butterflies on it. I like that one better. Okay, let's do that one. I could have punched one from one of the papers, but I don't really want to sacrifice one of the bits of paper just for a whale tail at the moment. You know, down the track I might if I've got scraps or something, but I don't want to bite into a whole piece right now when I've just printed them out. I mean, I could reprint, but, you know, I've also got this stash of pre-cut. They're printable, so I've hand cut them all out in the whale tail shape. It was before I got given my whale tail punch from the wonderful Laurel. Thank you, my dear. I do love my whale tail punch. So lovely to have one. I spent so long looking for one, and when I did find one, they were just too expensive. Like, I'm not going to pay that for a second-hand punch. To be fair, I probably wouldn't have paid it for a brand new punch either. A bit of a thrifter, really, rather than new. Except where I have to get new, like ink and that sort of thing. Right, when I talk ink, I mean printer ink. Okay, so yeah, we've got a wee tab, so it encourages somebody to pull it out. I think it's a really good indicator for somebody that, yes, there's something that they can do here. Love that. Now to decorate this up, I'm just grabbing it, sorry, buried under the stencil and stuff. I've grabbed out the Garden Story digitals because I thought something in there would look really pretty. It might be a little wide, I think. I'm looking for those blues, but not entirely blue, like injecting a little bit more colour. Not sure what yet. There's a couple of little blue flowers here, but let's see what's in the already cut out bag that we were into last week. I'm just going to maybe tip it out on this page. We could go with a little girl even. Let's just move that up. Oh, that's pretty. I do like that. I think that's really pretty. And any of these little girls would just be super sweet. I don't know which one I prefer. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I'm just looking at the way they're facing. She's angled that way and she's angled that way. I think I prefer looking in towards the page, so I'm going to go with that one. Give it a little distress around. I do have a tiny little bit of white around the border where I haven't cut it super perfectly. No surprises there. So just a little frame out. And would I like book page or music behind? See, I think this works quite well too because we've still got that lovely rose up there. We're not covering over a huge amount of detail. Some lovely detail, but not a huge amount. Because we definitely need something up here. Thinking like maybe a bit of book page or music. Just hunting in my bag for a bit of music. I'm sure I put some in here. Maybe that. So I want to kind of bring it down and then wider at the bottom. Oh, and that's upside down. Do we care? Probably not. I think I need it more or less straight on this edge. It's definitely upside down. It's written on in red. That's okay. I'm gonna use it upside down. Oops, we're moving. Don't move on me. Maybe a little bit off that. And I don't really need the blank bit at the top, do I? So we're still getting most of that rose showing. Oops, got a little, just a little point there at the bottom. Get rid of that. Push it almost all the way out to the edge there. Yep, I like that. I am going to ink around this as well. Maybe we'll put the other girl on the side pocket because she'll be facing the right way into the page. Really do not mind if the music is upside down. It does not worry me in the slightest. Yep, just checking, double checking placement. Oh, the foxing, I don't know if you can pick it up on camera, but it's got all the beautiful old foxed marks, the little discoloration, the little speckles. So when we went to the book barn last Friday, hubby picked up a new Wilbur Smith book that we don't have in our collection. So he's busy reading that. I haven't read any Wilbur Smiths for ages because I'm on Diana Gabaldon at the moment, and before that I was on Clive Cussler. And so I've got a lot of Clive Cussler still to read, and I've got a lot of Wilbur Smith to catch up on. But I've only just, on the first book of Diana's, Cross Stitch / Outlander, depending which version you've got. And I'm loving it. She's a really good writer. I can well see why her popularity took off, because she is a really good writer. Really enjoying her style, and it's nice to read, Wilbur Smith and Clive Cussler. You could say are more male oriented, not solely, but they're kind of action adventure, that sort of thing. So to read something that's perhaps a little bit more romantic is quite a refreshing change. Right, needs something up here, don't we? What's this little circle? Not the right thing. Label or tag. Oh, there's some whale tails out of the kit. Forgot they were in there. I could have used one of those out of the garden story. There's these cute wee labels. One of those might be quite nice. These I think were from Angela Kerr Designs, because this is a mixed bag of the Garden Story digitals. Half was created by RachandBella Crafts and half by Angela Kerr Designs. And some I can tell which are which and some I can't. So I do apologise that I can't necessarily be specific which half of the kit they're from. Just having a wee play. Gardening. What does it say? Fresh. No, can't read it. Do I like that, or do I like this little, one of these little labels better? I know, I'm taking ages, aren't I? It's like, just make a decision and get on with it. Okay, let's go this one. It's a little tickety shape. And I'm thinking maybe a little word layered over top. Okay, let's pop that on there. A stamped word maybe. I do like my words and my numbers, don't I? Although I tend to usually go for words. Inspiration. That's too long. What about this one? Love warms every nest. No, not quite, I don't think. How about you're one of a kind? This is on the oatmeal. That's a good name for our oatmeal, actually. It only just occurred to me before. I've never called it oatmeal before, but I think it's probably a very good description of the colour and the fleck in it. I haven't got a lot of it. I'm running out, and I'll be very sad when I run out. I did find a few more sheets of it hidden away. So I'm using it sparingly and saving every little offcut when I cut into a piece if I'm not using it in whole. There we go. You're one of a kind. I love that. I think that's really pretty. And then we've got all that writing space in there. And on this side, on our pocket, so we've got a lovely big pocket in here. It's quite a narrow width to decorate, but I'm sure we can do something. You can always do something, like maybe this gardening piece that we had would look quite cool. And it doesn't need to be extravagant, it can be quite simple and be effective. Shall we put it up the right way, the music? Let's tear a piece off and see. It's very ratty-tatty. I don't want to cover up all that though, so yep, I like that. I'm going to call it good. Trying to improve the speed of my decisions for your sake and mine. But I'm finding it quite difficult at the moment with hubby home to kind of process thoughts, come up with ideas, get the videos done, get the editing done. You know, it impacts on my time and my thought time, you know, to plan out what I want to do, to get things printed off that I need printed off. So it can be a little challenging, shall I say. So I'm trying to just do more simple things during this time while he's homesick. He is feeling better today, so hopefully he can return to work tomorrow. It would be lovely. I love him and I love spending time with him, and I love having him home, but when it's unplanned and I haven't had time to get ahead in the videoing or anything, then it's just, I find it's a bit more pressured. Especially now that I've got the food bank responsibilities and I haven't got the luxury to just record it this afternoon when he goes and has a nap, because I'll be out making up food parcels. And it's a busy afternoon this afternoon. We've got 5 to do, which is huge. We are on track for the month. By the end of the month, we will have at least doubled the usual amount of parcels going out. So it's incredibly busy. Just another lovely little cluster up the top there. And shall we pop a word on somewhere, either up there or down here? I was going to use one of the girls, but I think she will be too, yeah, she's too wide. Not that you couldn't like have her jutting out, but I've chosen not to. Just maybe a with love. That could be quite nice. Again, it's on that oatmeal paper. I just need to kind of straighten it up a bit. No, that's still crooked. That's not bad. We'll go with that. I think just down the bottom there, all on its own, floating amongst the roses. With love. Everything should be done with love, in love. Okay, now I'm looking at that going, Is that, but it's got the roses. I don't want to cover the roses. No, I'm going to call it good. I'm not going to fuss with it. So our big pocket here, and then at this point in time I'm going to leave this, but we could cover it with writing paper. It could be written on in amongst the roses. It could just be decorated or left as is. So options, I'm going to choose to leave it as is for the moment, apart from distressing around it and distressing around the inside. And there we have it, a fun wrap around the page, side pocket and concertina pull out journaling spot. That's way too long to put in the title, so I don't know what I'll call it, but I'll come up with something. Thanks so much for joining me, my friends. Have a great day. Go check out the kit if you're interested, either the garden story or the shabby blue backgrounds, or both. They are both wonderful kits. I will see you again in tomorrow's video. Have a great day. Bye for now.